What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Big Thing. It's Wednesday. We got a lot to talk about, man. Stephen Yeun apparently leaves the new Marvel project. We also have some Star Wars news. The new Rey movie. Director says some stuff that a lot of people say, cool. A lot of people say, uh-oh. So we'll talk about that. Speaking of Star Wars, there was a Clone Wars animation that was done, fan animation that was done based off the Revenge of the Sith Battle of the Heroes that we watched and we're going to talk about. And there's a bunch of other stories that we'll get into today. It's myself and Steph Sabra. Hit that button, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 200,000 faster than we got to 100. You guys are part of the conversation. You're part of the community. We try to answer as much as we can inside of the comments section. So make sure you do that. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And speaking of Star Wars, speaking of animated and live-action television, Bo-Katan herself, Katie Sackhoff. I'm producing her show, Blah, 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 with Katie Sackhoff. We are back. You can go to her channel. We just had an episode with Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Blackberry. So you can go and check that out. Now, all right, without any further ado, let's get to it. It's The Big Thing. It's me and Steph. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Big Thing Wednesday. It's myself, Kristian Harloff, Steph Sabra.
Hello.
Hello. And we have a fun show for you guys today. I'm excited to talk about it. There's a lot of different things that we're going to talk about. We just watched that animation, The Clone Wars. We'll just get into that to start. We're kind of fresh off of that. I'm going to do another reaction to it, and I'm just going to break it down. I always tell people I've never, and I will never, like, pretend that I'm watching it for the first time. I know a lot of people do that.
I know, that's so weird.
I can't do it. I can't
do that either.
Every time if I wind up seeing something and I'm like, oh, I want to react to it, I just tell people up top, I go, look, I saw it already. I'm just going to watch it again. I've never once heard someone go, oh, you've watched it already. I'm not watching this again.
Yeah.
They go, thanks for telling me.
Right.
And then I want to see what your reaction is to it.
Yeah. I can't even repeat the same things twice.
No.
It feels very unnatural.
It feels super unnatural. And it's just like, I would rather tell you, hey, I've seen this already. I want to watch it again. And I'm going to play through some of the cool things. And because I probably have a better analysis of it the second time.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to do it again. So you guys can check out whenever the hell I do that. And that's the other thing. I don't know when I'm going to do it. So we just watched it. And I told you about it before, and we started a little late, and Steph was nice enough to push back some of her plans in order to watch it. What did you think of it?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is,
it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Were
you wiping tears?
I got a little tearful.
I saw that. I like that.
Because it's still the most depressing character arc to me of all time.
Sure.
I'll never get over it. And it's interesting because it's like, in theory, it's the most depressing, but I think in practice, this did it a little bit better.
It's kind of what I was talking about with the Ahsoka series, is that there's moments of the Ahsoka series that I remember saying this to you, that in animation, it probably would have played a lot better than it did in live action. And people are like, well, no, if it's good in animation, it'll be good in live action. There are certain things that you can do in animation, because when you're watching something in live action, you're like, well, that feels like it's animated, or it takes you away. But when it is animated and they're able to do something with the movements, and there's certain, even what I always found silly, and this is, I know, a me thing, but there's a part in Revenge of the Sith that they echo in this scene where they're fighting, and at the very end, Anakin kind of does this thing where he's trying to catch his balance. In the live action, it's kind of silly to me. He's like, whoa.
Because he's on the strings.
Yeah, and it just looks silly. It looks like he's trying to catch his balance. And like there's certain, even some of the lines, and it's nothing against Hayden. I think it was the direction of it, where when he screams, I hate you, it's like, all right, and in this, it's like, it really is heartbreaking. No, I love that scene in Revenge of the Sith. I really do.
Too.
There are moments of it, though, that because of even the perfect example for the animated side of it, the droids that are flying around in the live action,
right,
looks like animated stuff happening, and it feels, there's this really dramatic moment happening, and there's this, like, it almost feels like they're trying to show you the kid stuff still. Not in this. This is really brutal. It also goes to show that you can recreate something and put it like people will be like, well, they didn't need to do that for the Clone Wars series because they already did it in live action. Yeah, but it adds so much. I thought these guys did a fantastic job.
I can't believe people can just do stuff like this from their own home, and it's better than a lot of what we see from full-on networks and million-dollar productions.
Right.
It's so cool. But it looks amazing. Like, I would think Star Wars put that out.
They definitely mimicked and were able to replicate exactly what made the Clone Wars special.
Yeah.
You know what it made me think of? I want and I hope, first of all, I hope that they watch this show, this one, because please do a What If series. Because Disney's never going to do it. Please do a What If
Star
series.
Wars.
Because, I want
That'd be sick.
You know what made me think of it, too? Because I always, even with this, Obi-Wan's such a dick. He's like, let's let his friend burn.
Yeah, yes.
Cut his head off.
Right.
You know, and what if they had a scene where he just walks up and he just cuts his head off?
I'm sorry I have to do this.
I got to do this. You're dead. And
You're burning to death, my guy.
You're dead. And then you watch, Obi-Wan is, especially when you couple it with the Obi-Wan series, the most irresponsible and probably worst Jedi of all time. He has a chance to kill this guy twice. First time he doesn't do it, he lets the guy burn, thinks he's just going to die. Doesn't let it happen. He's like, oops, I guess he lived. Then he's got the guy dead to rights in the new series. Then my friend is dead and walks away again. What are you doing?
My friend is dead. Yeah, it is an interesting choice because I think him yelling "I hate you" is very effective. But it's also like usually when you do a supposed death or the person's supposed to think someone's dead, they stop talking.
Right.
He was clearly alive.
He's still he's like, he'll burn to death.
He's trying to survive.
Yeah. I loved you. Oh, you did? Then put a lightsaber in my head.
Yeah, chop my head off.
Yeah, if you love me, put me out of my misery instead of letting me burn to death.
Actually kill me.
Yeah, right. And he doesn't.
It's savage.
It is. And then he doesn't do it again. At the end, he just lets him suffer again. He's like, I got you dead again. Nah, I'm going to let your kid do it this time. It's like, the Obi-Wan character is I love him, but he's flawed to hell, and he is not a good Jedi. People are like, oh, he's one of the best. He is not. He has made some. The war could have been over 4 times with this guy.
Yeah. He loves Anakin.
That's why I go back to that Obi-Wan series, and it's like one in the same way that I think that the Ahsoka, that moment with Sabine, where she uses the Force. Okay, fine, she uses the Force. And then 5 minutes later, she's chucking Ezra off to the side, going, "Oh yeah, now I'm confident enough that I can use the Force and do this." After learning it 5 minutes ago, as opposed to Ezra going, "Now I trust you. Throw me." And she's like, "No, I can't. I just learned how to do this.
Right.
I trust you." And then she does it. Okay, little tweaks.
Yeah.
In the same way with the Obi-Wan series, when him and Vader at the end, and he's like, "This time I got to take him out. I had him last time." You have that flash of just like, I should have taken him out, and then you're almost like making amends for the fact that he left him there to burn. I did this last time. I can. He goes to swing, and a bunch of ships come in, and TIE fighters, and start blasting through, and he's got to take off. And
right.
That quick.
That's true.
Then there's a reason why you can still say, "Well, then my friend is dead," and pick up the saber and go to take him out. Yeah. And it's like little things like that. He walks away. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Irresponsible.
He doesn't want to see it. It's his homie.
Not anymore. He just told him it isn't.
Yeah.
But it literally is saying, you're not my homie anymore. But I'm still going to let you live.
I loved you, past tense.
Yeah. I saw you kill a whole bunch of people. I was sitting back and I watched you murder and slaughter a whole bunch of villagers. I want you to do that again.
Right.
For the next, 10 years.
Yeah, just let your reign.
I'm going to train your kid, even though I'm training this one right now. I'm going to forget about her completely, even though we have more of a bond than me and this other kid. I'm going to train her, even though she's running around the woods like Benny Hill. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna train him later. Forget about her. Just forget about it. Maybe if he brings me a message from her, I'll go, yeah, I kind of remember her. Stupid writing. That writing on that show is abysmal.
That is true. It is like I think they take for granted that Ewan McGregor is one of the best actors.
Yeah. And
so they're like, we just need Obi to be the greatest plot device of Star Wars.
But it goes back, and then we can kind of transition into this new movie. But it's like, it's this, here you go, eat this, Star Wars fans.
Right.
Right. But we're not doing that anymore. And it's clearly, and this goes into this story that just came out today. So this is Dark Horizons. The new Jedi Order is going to be very special, says director of the film. From the moment it seems the next Star Wars film to make it to cinemas will be that of New Jedi Order, the film set roughly 15 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. Pakistani-Canadian filmmaker Sharmeen Aboid-Chinoy, who did Ms. Marvel, is helming the project, which will see Daisy Ridley return to the role of Rey in a movie being penned by Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight. The story sees Rey assuming the role of a mentor to some promising young students. The filming was originally rumored to begin in April next year at Pinewood Studios in the United Kingdom before strike-related delays pushed back the start date. Obaid-Chinoy recently appeared on CNN and was asked about the movie, and she said, "I'm very thrilled about the project because I feel we're about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now, and it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape a story in a galaxy far, far away." That confirms that despite the setbacks, the project isn't hitting any serious issues, and that Obaid-Chinoy is still very much working on the project. The project will mark the first time that a woman has directed a Star Wars movie, not including the seemingly scrapped Rogue Squadron, which Patty Jenkins was slated to helm. Ridley stated back in November that she knew the storyline for the film, but was waiting to read a script. It is slated for May 22nd, 2026. Okay, so there's a lot here, and I talked to Steph about this before we went on the air. I like her a lot as a director.
Me too.
I really do, and I like what she did as Ms. Marvel.
Me
and
too.
I love Stephen Knight and what he's...
Yeah, I think that's a good pairing.
Great pairing. I think that it goes back to the PR problem at Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a PR problem. I think that you have to... Because even... There's so much inside of that statement that I think is... necessary to happen. I think it's fantastic that it is happening. There's a lot of great in that statement. There's a lot of stuff inside of that statement that was not well thought out. The first is the first woman to craft a Star Wars story. She didn't say director. She said first woman to craft a Star Wars or the Star Wars universe, or the exact quote was, "We're in 2024 now, and it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape a story in a galaxy far, far away." Kathleen Kennedy has been shaping stories since 2012 for Lucasfilm.
Right.
Deborah Chow has shaped a story in a galaxy far, far away. Bryce Dallas Howard has shaped a story in a galaxy far, far away. So the intent was the first female director,
right,
who was directing, which should have happened a while ago, was going to happen, of a movie. It's like you've got, with the way that the internet will pick apart everything you say, you have to have a PR person say, nail this, do that. And some people are like, well, no, she shouldn't have to. Yes, you should. And the reason why, this isn't politics. This isn't, I'm on CNN, so I'm going to say this per thing because we're going to get our votes from our party, and our party's going to do this. Who gives a shit what that party says? That's what happens in politics a lot of times, even though maybe it shouldn't, but that's what happens. In movies, you got to still understand we're in a business here.
Right.
We're in a business. So is it very important that a woman is directing Star Wars? Yes. Is she a great storyteller? Yes. Is Stephen Knight a fantastic writer? And is this going to be, if they do this movie right, could it redeem a lot of the things that went wrong with the original trilogy, the last trilogy? Yes. But show me on the screen. Mm-hmm. Show me on the screen what you're going to do, because I believe you're going to do it. Show me on the screen. Don't say that stuff up top. Don't say because you know how touchy right now people are, because people are waiting for you to say things so they can make hate videos and make these things, and it's going to hurt your product. They go, well, let them go out there and scream and make their videos. There is a very strong portion that is getting tired of certain things that are being said, as far as whether they call it agenda or whether they call it because there is force to stuff sometimes. I don't think this is it. I think this is important. I think she could be the right person for the job. I haven't seen the movie yet. But you got to be careful inside of these things, because there are still people waiting for this franchise to fail. Mm-hmm. And if they say, I'm not going to see this because this person's saying this now, it's more Disney pushing this, more Disney pushing that. Show me on the fucking screen.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Because if she crushes it first, if she crushes it, and it's a great movie, and all these new characters just come in, and people are like, oh, I can't really, what the hell can I say about that? It's really doing well at the box office. It's an awesome movie. I can put my hate out there, but it's doing really, really well. And then she comes out and she goes, I am glad that I'm the first female director to put this movie out, to do this. We made these choices. We featured these strong people. We did this. We did that. After you have the receipts of the success of it, you have to. We live in an era now where you have to be conscious of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not left versus right in movies, and it shouldn't be.
Right.
Because if it is, you're going to lose business.
Right. Well, also, it's like, unless that's what the movie is about. If it is about, like, and I know there's of course, underlying politics
Right.
and theory in Star Wars. That's what it is. But it's not for votes, like you were saying. It's a movie. It's entertainment. It's
Right.
about telling a story. Yeah, I think they have definitely a PR problem. It is interesting that she led with this, and because I do think that she has the stats that can back this, and I loved her work in Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is probably my favorite Marvel series in a while. I still like.
It's very well developed.
Yeah, I still like the WandaVision the best, and Loki season 2 was so good.
Yeah.
But Miss Marvel is up there. It really, really warmed my heart. And what I was saying with the pairing with the Peaky Blinders writer, I think that's perfect for that tone that I want them to go with. But it's interesting because I think that we're past this point of announcing ourselves, and we should just show it, because there are dickwads that are like, like they saw the black actress playing in Percy Jackson. They're like, I'm not going to watch it because she's not the character, which is like, okay, you're just
and she didn't even say anything.
She didn't say anything. Just wait till she's on screen, which
100%.
she's a great actress. You're a jerk. And then there's people that I feel like are just getting alienated, and I don't necessarily blame them for like the constant need to bring identity politics into everything. Right. And I think she doesn't need to do that.
And that's what it is. It's that, and I'll make it clear. I don't think there was necessarily you could read, because people could bounce back on my statement and go, well, I don't think it was such a political statement what she said. She was just saying that it's a good thing that we have a woman shaping. And the answer to that, yes, it is. It is. She's not the first. Again, her words were not accurate. I know what she was trying to say, but her words were not accurate. In the same way that Kathleen Kennedy said at one point that, like, we don't have stories in canon. We don't have books and novels and things like that. And what she was saying was that it wasn't created from that. George didn't create it from novels and books and video games. As the way Harry Potter was created from novels.
Right.
But the statement wasn't made correctly. And there's tons of people who do that shit. Like, James Gunn said it about whether it was The Flash or other things. People say this stuff all the time, and you got to be careful what you say because of where the social media aspect of it, and we cling to it.
Right.
So no, it wasn't necessarily like, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a full, on men is bad and this and that. No, she didn't say any of that. But when she's out there saying instead of saying, this is going to be the first craft of this and this and that and this and that, just say, we're very excited to do this movie. I can't wait. I'm absolutely say the fact that she was the first female director, you should wear that as a badge. You absolutely should wear that as a badge, because and I believe that's what she was saying. I agree with the statement. They haven't had one woman direct. I always thought Catherine Bigelow. At one point, I was against the Catherine Bigelow idea of her doing it, because as much as I love Zero Dark 30, and I think at the time I said, I just don't know if she's going to care enough about it. Mm-hmm. But she's Zero Dark 30 is such a good movie. You give her a story, and then you look at the Tony Gilroy of it all also makes me go, Catherine Bigelow would have been a fantastic director to do this.
Right.
So it could happen a long time ago. But like, as I said earlier, show me on the screen.
Yeah.
Just show me on the screen, and that way just shove it in their faces. You've got such a good team, and you can make this in developing the characters the way that you do. Like, I'm excited for her movie. I'm excited to see what she's going to do. But like, you can't, because right now Disney's in a spot where they have to appease. They're a mass audience company. They're whatever their politics are as a company, they are a mass audience company. So you have to appease the mass audience. And the mass audience does not share everyone's point of views. And as you said, right or wrong, people get tired of particular pushes.
Right. It's not even about what I necessarily agree with. Obviously, I think it's awesome that we're having a woman.
Of course
director.
it is.
Of course it's about time. But there's also people like, Deborah Chow has some of our favorite episodes written in or directed, and she's amazing. Bryce Dallas Howard, the same thing. And I think that it's not about right or wrong. It's about like I just want people to shut up about it.
And do
for
it.
the same
Just do it.
reason, and the fans, I want them to shut up about like, oh, Rey
Right.
was a Mary
Right.
Sue, like whatever. And like you're using this character that has that still hatred towards
Right.
it. And now you're adding to that. It's just not a smart business move, is what I'm saying.
Right. And that's what it comes down to is if you're Disney, you want to try, and especially if you're Lucasfilm, you want to try to get it back in the way that The Mandalorian did. The Mandalorian's got a lot of diversity. The Mandalorian has a lot of and non-forced.
Yeah.
It's I mean, shit, man. Pedro Pascal, the lead. You've got, as you mentioned, Deborah Chow directed a ton of the episodes.
Bo-Katan.
I mean, there's
Obviously,
tons,
yeah.
but in the first like season that came in, it was this thing where that kind of
Ahsoka.
united. Yeah, but it united the fan base. It united them in a way that it was like, oh, you have this kind of original trilogy kind of feel to it. It blends in elements of the prequels that people loved, and it's just telling Star Wars stories. And that's the thing that they're trying to capture again. And that's what works. And you can do everything inside of this.
Right.
You can do everything and make it really work because, as you said, like the Rey, people are going to bitch no matter what.
Right.
Even if you make a good movie, there are going to be those people
Yeah,
that are
of
going to
course.
hate it. And now especially because that's ultimately where I'm coming from here. This movie is because Star Wars needs a win, especially with movies. It needs a win. Of course, I want this movie to be the best movie since Empire.
Yeah.
I want every movie to be good. I want every Star Wars movie to be good. If you're a Star Wars fan, you want it to be good. Like, you don't want it, like, even if you hated these statements, if you hated them, like hate, and you're a Star Wars fan, you still want the movie to be good if you're a Star Wars fan. Because you can say, because most people that do the hate videos, they want it to be bad and they want to be able to, because that's how they're going to sell their videos, right? But if you're a real Star Wars fan, what you want to do is, because if a movie stinks, then you're going to say a movie stinks. You can't be the everything is awesome crew, and you can't do, yeah, that's the best movie ever. Everyone's like, the movie has problems, stinks. But if it's awesome and it really is good, you got to be able to say, look at that. They finally did it. They made the movie like in the same way that The Mandalorian season 1 did. You're like, whoa, they made it. They did it. It's still possible. And I think, and then look, I know that there's a lot of people that feel the exact opposite of me and think that Star Wars is in fine shape and love all the stuff that they're doing, and that's fine. I'm not one of those people. But I do think that this, if you just put out the movie, now people are going to be waiting for this thing to be bad. A portion
yeah.
are going to be waiting for this thing to be bad, and it's not fair to anyone involved. It's not fair to her. It's not fair to Daisy Ridley. But what they're going to say is, "Oh, we knew this was going to happen. They were just going to hate anyway." And it's not just that. You're trying to sell a movie, and you want to make $1 billion. This is not the way to go about it.
Yeah, they need the PR team is what they
totally
need.
need a PR team.
Because I feel like they said, make sure you mention that you're the first.
But first female director. Say that again, badge of honor, and it should be. And then let people bitch about that. Of course, she's saying she's the first female director. Yeah, because she is.
She is.
That's the badge of honor. But
Yeah.
but as I said, you're going to pick apart those people. Those same people are going to go, oh, she says she's the first female ever craft a story. Wait a minute, Kathleen. I guess you're saying Kathleen Kennedy didn't do shit, huh? You're saying it too. You're giving them ammo.
Right.
You're giving them ammo.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that we could all be. Maybe we're just blowing hot air over here. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is like, is it something that will affect the box office? Is it not? Very curious to hear what you guys think, because it does play into, like we were just talking about, like Rachel Zegler, same type of thing, right? I like Rachel Zegler as an actress.
I do. I love her.
And I don't give a shit if you say that, Bill. Oh, you like what she says? Didn't say that. Said like her as an actress. Same thing. There's certain times that people like, and I stand by the fact that Twitter, you can say whatever you want on Twitter. Doesn't mean that everyone's going to agree with you. Doesn't mean sometimes that you should. But when I saw something recently about musicians who were talking politics, and they shouldn't talk politics, and they shouldn't do this, and they shouldn't do that. If you're following me, well, first of all, with musicians, I mean, Bob Dylan, I mean, a bunch of people have been singing about politics for years. So
Of course.
musicians are different. Musicians have always been singing about politics, and this one particular Reporters
They're
like they
writing
shouldn't.
their music.
Right. And inside of that, and it's always been so music I don't agree with when people are going, well, you shouldn't talk politics and you shouldn't sing about politics. What are you talking about? That's like what the people were talking about, like Rage Against the Machines. Like it's all Rage Against the Machine was. But if you follow, if it's an actress who you follow, or you watch, I should say, in Marvel, and you're not watching her or his shows for political opinions, and then you start following them on Twitter, and they start tweeting about politics, and then you write, "I don't follow you on Twitter for your politics. I follow you because I want to hear you talk about Marvel." Well, fuck you.
Right.
It's their personal page. That's where they're allowed to do it, whether you agree with the stuff they're saying or not. So with Rachel Zegler, the problem is that interview that she gave about the Snow White thing, it was on D23 press line, right? That is connected to the movie itself, and people are excited about Snow White. And there are certain things that she said in the Snow White stuff that I don't agree with. Somebody wrote back and like, well, no, it is dated. Yeah, it dated in regards to 1937 or 39, whenever it came out, as opposed to now. Yes, but the idea of true love is not dated. Mm-hmm. And I think that also there was someone on TikTok who wrote back and said that there are some women, because she said like today Snow White will be a leader, Snow White will be this, and she said not all women want to be leaders. A lot do, not all do. Not all men want to be leaders. And so
and shouldn't both sides. Most people
absolutely. There are a lot of leaders out there, men or women, that you're going, no. Yeah. Let's go. What if they were not leaders? Right. So I don't know. It's just it's a tricky thing, because you look at, and the reason I bring Snow White up is because they pushed it all the way into 2025. Mm-hmm. Because it was supposed to come out, I think, like in March. That movie would have done very poorly, and it might
next to Dune, yeah.
Next to Dune, but also still people remember for a select amount of time. Now, the question when 2025 comes out, because of the internet, do people start resurfacing the interview again? Do they start surfacing the stuff with her? And does it hurt the box office by the time it comes out? I don't know. But it just, as you mentioned, you have to understand that this is a business. It's a business, and you got to be careful of what you say, because you can cost the studio millions, billions of dollars.
Right. The part that I didn't watch the full interview with her, but from what I've heard about it, I agree, because we've been talking about you have to be smart about what you're saying, but I also am like, she didn't write this script, so she is going off the story that she was given, which don't you think you would be repping that?
It's sure, you could,
I feel like she kind of fell into a trap.
You could rep it, but it wasn't just that. It was almost like the reason that there was such a pushback on her statements was that it was the way, whether it was intended or not, it was kind of targeted at people. If you did like that movie, then there's something wrong with you. The prince is a stalker. True love is not a good thing. She doesn't need to find love. And it's like, oh, well, am I wrong for liking that movie? That's what a lot of people felt. And that's what it was. It was almost like this kind of vitriol for the original, and the original, the son or grandson of the creator of the original, or whatever it might have been. He just said these comments are horrendous, and there was rumors that Disney had a talking to her. It's a different thing when you say, look, we love, like the same thing we're just talking about with this statement. Love the original. It did so much for Disney back in the day. There were a couple things that we thought that maybe don't line up with the times today, but we really are excited to have our original version of it, where Snow White is in this version, she's going to be this, or she's going to be this, and I can't wait, because again, don't throw shade at the old one, because you've got fans from the old ones. You're taking those fans and you're pushing them to the side. That's the type of stuff. There are ways. Again, PR. The number one rule, no matter what you do, don't shit on the original. Yeah. Say some nice things about the original. Do this. Of course. So it's like, and but I also don't believe in throw someone over, because there is this political kind of war going on that with political in general, but then it is blended into movies. The second you do something like that, now you are public enemy number one, at least for a little while, to the side that hates you in general. And now you've given them ammo, and you're never going to get back on their good side, no matter what. Now, I don't think that's fair on both sides. I don't think that's fair. I think there are things that you can say sometimes, and
She's also really young.
She's young. She's like 24 years old
Yeah.
or whatever she is, too. But the same thing for her is that she's playing. I thought she was very good in Hunger Games.
I loved her.
I thought she was great in Hunger Games.
Me too.
And I loved her in West Side Story.
Yes.
I don't think her comments were great, but I'm not going to boycott her movies.
Right.
You know, it's like the same thing. There are people that are sometimes, look, there are tons of people that make stupid statements that I've seen, and I'm going, I don't know if I'd really like that person if I talked to them, but that performance was damn good, and I believe that that character was that person. I can separate. Not everybody can separate, but I can separate.
Well, yeah, especially when you're not saying something like completely foul that like questions or hurts someone's entire existence.
Right.
Then it's like, then we're just talking about opinions. And I am so against he didn't say exactly what I wanted them to say.
Right.
Therefore, I hate you. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, there are people now that are legit going to boycott the Star Wars movie who
crazy.
love Star Wars.
Right.
Who are going to boycott it because of those comments. I don't think the comments were thought out well. Of course I'm going to see the movie.
Of
I want it to be
course.
good.
Yes.
I want it to be good. I wanted to start a new, like, because Dave Filoni, again, is apparently the head of the creative. I want him to succeed with his first movie coming out. I want Lucasfilm to succeed for this to come out. I want Star Wars to continue. I want it to be like, oh, people are excited about Star Wars again.
Of course.
I don't care about statements that I don't necessarily agree with or think that they should have been. I shouldn't say I don't agree with it, because I do agree with the intent of what she was trying to say. I don't agree in the presentation of the way that it was brought up. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to see the movie.
Yeah.
You know, if I was, you know, it's just like you got to understand in general that I understand. This is where the politics really hurts business in general, because you're going to say, well, we don't care what those people think. We don't care what they think. We don't care what they think. Well, who are you trying to sell tickets to? Why are you spending $200 million? Then don't spend $200 million. Spend way less. If you're just going to go after one audience, then do one. And that doesn't mean don't cast who you're going to cast. Just make a good movie.
Right.
Cast who you're going to cast and make it a good movie. I don't give a shit. I don't care who's in it. Just make it a good movie and don't make it forced. If it fits, it fits. Same thing with John Boyega. Got such bullshit when he was cast because he was a black stormtrooper.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know that there weren't black stormtroopers? It's dumb.
He's one of the best actors right now.
Yeah, because those were dummies.
Just dumb.
Yeah, those were dummies who were like, well, the clones weren't black. Well, they weren't clones, dumb.
Right.
They were
The second
regular people.
era of clones.
Right, and he got
clones.
Yeah, and so he gets cast, and people are like, oh, they just want to put a black person in there. Dumb. The guy was a fantastic actor. Attack the Block They ruined his character in the writing, but that wasn't his fault. Finn was absolutely just.
Oh, I thought you meant in Attack the Block. I was like,
No.
Attack
Attack the Block is rock in Star Wars.
Right.
Ruined him. Like he had an arc, and then they set him right back, and then like, oh, we'll give him the Force. But that's my favorite. My favorite. We laugh about it all the time. Rey got a secret. What's the secret?
Oh my
I'll tell you later. Was he going to tell him in this movie finally?
Man.
Please let him tell him in this movie.
Right.
Please. 15 years later.
Yes. What is it? And hopefully I don't think he'll come back. But
He's going to be in it.
If he was a Jedi.
I bet you he's
Just
in it.
make him a Jedi. Give us some sort of win. But I'm with you. And it's interesting because I was talking about this with my mom. She was like, it's so weird that they're like, oh, all of this first. But in the 90s, all we watched was black family sitcoms.
Right.
Really, those were my family's favorite shows.
Family Matters.
Family Matters, Martin,
Yeah.
Moesha, Sister, That's So Raven,
Yeah.
like so many. And
It was a different world past your time.
what?
Different world, was that past your time?
Yeah, past my time.
Okay.
But
that was different worlds.
I think there's like Taraji P. Henson brings
Yeah.
up great problems in equity and actual money that I think is still really messed up for minorities and women. But I do think in terms of like representation, although there's not everything we want, there has been like some key people in my life, at least,
a major change. Yeah.
that have always been people of color.
Sure.
And so I think that we should just show it now.
Yes.
And just do the thing.
Well, because that's a great point. Because the thing is, for a while, it was like no one was even trying to diversity. No one was even trying.
Right. in major blockbusters.
No one was ever trying. No, there was. You go back and you look. No one was trying, and that's clearly not the case now. And as you say, just if you put good stuff out, people will. They have to shut their mouths. They have to shut their mouths. But if you continue to do certain things and your box office sucks because of it, you're given ammo. You're given ammo. So there's a lot of times that sometimes it works. There's a lot of times that you just show up and do the work, because these are people that are very talented. Like I'm telling you, Ms. Marvel, people are like, well, that show didn't do very well. That goes back to the first part of it. People didn't want to see it because they see a family of color, they see it, they go, I'm not going to be interested. I saw this trailer and I said more so, I think this might be for my daughter. I'm going to watch it with her. And I didn't watch one episode with my daughter. I watched the whole thing by myself because I was so locked into the family, and it was inviting. The show was inviting. I felt like I wanted to be eating the food with the family. I wanted to learn about the culture. I didn't care about the superhero stuff. And that's a testament to her. And that's why I'm hopeful about this, because I'm hopeful that she, like Godzilla Minus One, we both love it.
So good.
Because you cared about the characters. Make me care. And with Stephen Knight, make me care. And you will. So you don't need to say certain things on any program, much less, and being on CNN will also, it seems like a political.
As soon as you said that, I was like, that's interesting that's her major interview. And it could be me not looking hard enough, but of all the interviews she could have done. I'm
sure she did other ones, but to make the statement there.
It's funny. Yeah, that's very political.
That's the thing. You're making a statement on a political network, and it's automatically going to be taken as political, whether you meant it as political or not. So much already. The movie hasn't even come out. That's the last point I'll make about this. Last point is this. The movie will also come out in about 2 years from now. People will have other things to bitch about at the time than this statement.
Yeah.
You put out a good trailer, people go, okay, looks pretty good. I don't know. What's your casting like? What's, who are you going to put in these? Who are the new characters? What's it look like it's going to be? Like right now, it's coming off of, we're in a heated time right now in general. In 2026, who knows what it's going to be like as far as landscape of how people are with each other. Who knows? The fucking aliens are here by then.
Or Star Wars with the shows and everything.
Everything. Who knows?
The aliens.
They could, who knows? But when it comes to it, people will have forgotten about this for sure. As you said, as I said, just show us. Show me a good trailer. Show me good characters. All right, before we move on, got to tell you about Rocket Money and Trade Coffee. Both my faves. Here we go. Hey, Rocket Money. How much do you guys think that you're paying a month on subscriptions? Yeah, that's what I thought. Most people think they're $80, $82. Yeah, right. You're paying closer to around $200. And that is why I use Rocket Money. What is Rocket Money, Kristian? Thank you for asking. I'm going to tell you, me. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills. And it's all in one place. It has over 5 million users and counting. Rocket Money has helped save its customers an average of $720 a year and $1 billion in total savings so far. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way. Go to rocketmoney.com/thing. That's rocketmoney.com/thing. rocketmoney.com/thing. Trade Coffee, baby. And Trade Coffee is here to help you do more in 2024. You need Trade if you want to hit the ground running with your New Year's goals. Trade is a subscription service that sources the best coffee across the country, and it brings it right to your doorstep. They've built relationships with over 55 local roasters so you can enjoy their craft from the comfort of your own home. There's multiple ways to experience coffee with Trade. You sign up for a subscription or try one of their starter packs today. I love the medium roast, and they sent me the Peixoto from the Brazil brand. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I love it. I drink it every day, guys. Drink it every day. And I've been talking about Trade forever. And I'm so glad that they're back. I've been using them forever, and now they're back on the show. I mean, if you were in this studio, every time people walk into this studio, like, it smells wonderful because I always have Trade coffee brewing every single time. I love it. I love the smell of it. I love the way it tastes. I love all of it. It's amazing. So jumpstart this year by signing up for a Trade subscription. Right now, Trade is offering a free bag with select subscription plans when you visit drinktrade.com/bigthing. Easy. drinktrade.com/bigthing for a free bag with select subscription plans. drinktrade.com/bigthing. Very excited to have them both back and have you guys have the opportunity to benefit off using our codes here to get both Rocket Money and Trade. Rocket Money will help you out, man, with your financials. Helps me out tremendously, keeps me on track. And then Trade Coffee. Steph loves Trade Coffee.
Yes, I do.
You love the smell of it. It's just amazing, too. I now have learned how to say my favorite coffee that they send me, Peugeot. It's from Brazil, Peugeot. Probably saying that wrong, but I think that I said it right. Peugeot.
Sounds good.
It's delicious, and it really smells good. So you guys, go ahead, check that out. It helps out the show, and you guys get some wonderful benefits. All right, next thing here, we're probably, we covered a lot already in those stories, but I want to get to this Steven Yeun story. All right, Steven Yeun exits Thunderbolts. The Walking Dead, Burning, and Invincible star Steven Yeun has dropped out of the Marvel Studios team-up film Thunderbolts. Yeun was first linked to the film back in February, but to date, Marvel has never officially announced his role, which was supposed to be the character Sentry. The project would have seen Yeun reunite with the same directing team on his acclaimed 2023 Netflix series Beef. With the writers and the actors' strike severely impacting the film's production, the production has yet to begin filming, and it's likely scheduling issues for the in-demand Yeun where it came into play. The film's cast includes Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, David Harbour, Olga Kurylenko, and yada yada, and a lot of other people. Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. Filming on the project is now expected to begin around March-April, ahead of a July 25th, 2025 release. Yeun will be seen in Mickey 17 and Love Me coming up. I agree with this 100%, where I think this is nothing but scheduling problems. I think that's it. I mean, some people are like, oh, he knows Marvel stinks now, so he dropped. Marvel's still a big paycheck.
Yeah.
And if Thunderbolts can be the turnaround for them, why wouldn't you be part of it? But I totally agree with them. He's in demand.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in a Bong Joon-ho film, and the last major Bong Joon-ho film won the Oscar.
Right.
So I think that's a big thing for him.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of comments that were like, he probably read the backlash on people not happy with his casting. And it's like, I don't think he cares. Maybe he does because people are hateful and rude, but yeah, I don't think he's missing out on a Marvel paycheck if it's anything but scheduling. And
Stinky Farts 83 said I shouldn't be in this, so I'm out.
So he's not going to do it because you're writing from your basement. Like, that's crazy. But I do hope he's in something Marvel eventually.
Yeah, gives him a chance to do some more stuff for sure. Like, and it also opens up, like, he's someone I would love to see in Star Wars. I'd love to see him in that Rey movie. He would be great in Star Wars. So maybe it opens the door for something like that.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's like, to me, depending on what the role is, I'd love to see him cross over and because he's got a relationship clearly with them.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think this is anything except scheduling.
Yeah.
I really think that was it. I'm curious to see what else is going to happen. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that this is something else? Do you think he was like, no, Marvel is just on a decline, I'm out? Which I don't think a lot of people are going to think, but hey, who knows? What do you think? If so, state your case. All right, let's do two more. All right, Jordan Peele thinks that his next movie is going to be his favorite movie, Dark Horizons. Get Out, Us, Nope filmmaker Jordan Peele says that his upcoming and currently untitled fourth directorial effort could well become his favorite film to date. The project was previously dated for Christmas Day 2024, but it's been removed from the release calendar due to the strikes, and it's not currently clear when it's going to be released. Peele was on Conan O'Brien, the podcast, and he said, I do feel like my project is clear to me, my next one, and I'm psyched that I have another film that could be my favorite movie if I make it right. Peele added that 2023 was an interesting year for him as he was stuck in a state of listening due to the 6-month double strike. The film was one of 2 movies from his Monkey Paw Productions label that were quietly pulled from the slate on Christmas Day. The other is a horror film that he's only producing, which was slated for late September. So do I think that when you're promoting anything, you should say that it's going to be your favorite and that it's going to be the best? And of course. But do I believe him? I do. I think that he's going to be. I said something. People sometimes it's like right out there. They don't understand what you're saying. What I said was the movie star is gone. The movie star that sells tickets is gone. There's very few. Like, name a movie star that you think just from their name alone could get people into the theater. Right.
Because it's not.
Doesn't happen anymore.
Brad Pitt can't. George Clooney can't do it.
It used to be
anymore.
Will Smith. He can't do it. Tom Cruise, his IP can do it, but the movie Mission Impossible didn't do tons of money. So there are no movie stars. People, The Rock's a lot of movies. That Black Adam, that they're just not. So there's tons of movie star the idea of a movie star, right? Like, you see them, you're like, oh, that's a movie. Like, Tom Cruise is a movie star.
Right. Or like Margot Robbie, but I didn't watch Babylon.
But she's a movie star. But she doesn't sell the movie.
Right.
She helps the movie, but she doesn't sell. Like, you're not just going there because it's a Margot Robbie movie. That's how it used to be. There's a new Tom Cruise movie. Let's go see it. What is it? No. We'll find out when we get there. That used to happen all the time. It just doesn't happen. I bring that up because directors, they do that now. Christopher Nolan definitely does that. Scorsese still brings curiosity, but when you make a $200 million movie, 3 hours and 45 minutes, you're going to have a loss in the theater. There's just no doubt.
Right,
about it.
and it's always dark.
Yeah.
Content.
Yeah, but he still gets people into it. Tarantino, right? I think that Greta Gerwig's going to start doing that for sure.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele is one that I put in there, and people are like, how could you put him in the same rankings as Scorsese? I'm like, because I'm saying his movies are event films.
Yeah.
When you hear, it's like the way that Shyamalan used to be. When Shyamalan used to have a movie, you're like, oh, Shyamalan, what's it about? I don't know. We'll just find out what the twist is. Same thing with Jordan Peele. What's Nope about? I don't know. Could be aliens. I don't know. Let's go see it. It's a Jordan Peele movie. That is what I'm talking about. So he's in that position that when he said, I'm pretty excited. He's in his prime right now. He's making movies that are exciting to him, and he's thinking about it, and he's got that thing. So I believe him. I don't. Why else would he? Why would
Right. He doesn't have a flop to me.
No, I didn't love. If I was going to rank it, I would rank Get Out number 1, Us, and then Nope.
Yeah, that's my ranking too.
Yeah.
But I obviously Get Out's one of the best movies ever.
It's really
to me. Us, I loved.
I liked it more on the second
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o just
So
is
good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I really had a fun time with Nope. And it was good to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't Get Out or Us, but it was still really great to me. It wasn't by any means a flop. I enjoyed myself.
No, it wasn't a flop. I think that's another one I might have to revisit. I've only seen it once, but I remember leaving underwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I do. Speaking of Stephen Yeun, right? He was good in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
But
was
it didn't
fun
take
character.
away. Going off of what you're saying, I didn't leave that theater going, Jordan Peele,
Right.
one hit or 2 hit wonder. I don't want to see him anymore. Okay, just didn't. You put a favorite band of yours has a couple great songs and one that's just okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Yeah.
And the same thing. Look at Nolan. We just mentioned Nolan. Oppenheimer. Do you watch Oppenheimer
Yes.
yet? Do you love it? Liked it.
I thought it was very interesting.
Okay. I loved it. Way more than I liked Tenet.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Right,
You know
but-
how I feel about Tenet.
Tenet. How many times have you seen Tenet?
I can't do it. I know. I saw it 3 times.
Did you watch it with subtitles?
No, maybe I should. I can't. I told you, it's like opening an empty box.
Yeah, if you do,
Like the most greatly wrapped box, and it's empty.
it's you got to watch it with subtitles. But I get if you can't go back to it. But Interstellar, a movie very similar to how I felt like with Us. Interstellar, first time I saw it, I'm like, I don't know if I love that. Now I love it.
Yes.
Now I love it. Like, I've gone back and watched that movie. And I want to watch it again. Music's so good. Like, it's just really well
It
done.
is.
His just attention
the
to
music.
detail, everything about it. But what's your favorite Nolan movie, by the way?
It's probably Dark Knight.
Mine's Inception.
It's so good. Inception's got to be
Inception.
probably my second.
Yeah.
It is. That movie to me changed movies for me because
Yeah.
I couldn't. It was the first movie where I was like, "What the hell?" I couldn't believe that someone thought of that and then executed it like that.
And really paid attention. All of his stuff is like stuff that is like, if you look at science, if you look at dreams, if you look at things that, it's all stuff that comes from like theories and things and the way that he really puts in detail overall.
That's what I liked about Oppenheimer.
Right.
Because as a Japanese girl, obviously, it's like when I heard about it, I was like, what the hell is he doing making a movie about this
Right.
and like selling tickets about it? But the way he did it was, I thought, really genius in how he chose to execute it.
I agree, and that's why I'm curious that, you know, how did you feel about the fact that they didn't show the bomb? I thought that was I thought that would have been more, first of all, harder to do in a way that it's like, as you said, you watch that going, what are you doing? You don't know the pain, you don't know, like, and he chose not to show it, but he showed it through Oppenheimer's, you know, decision to do that and realize that the destroyer of worlds he had become.
Right.
Like that was, to me, that's what I got out of it. But I'm curious, as someone from Japanese descent.
Yeah, I think that I don't think I would have liked if they did that, because to me he was really showing that obviously he knew what the price could be, but that's not what the bomb wasn't. He didn't make this intended for Japan.
Right.
And there's so many lines in it there that one of the scientists said, I don't want the culmination of 3 centuries of physics to be made to destroy the world.
Right.
And things like that I think pay a lot of respect. And then you see this man his life sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's living in the depression of what he did and all of these scientists did, but it was going to happen regardless.
Burdened by glorious purpose.
And I think it really showed that it was the U.S. government being kind of a jerk, like assholes the entire time.
We need to show our power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Showing the power and then like using his communist ties against him.
Well, especially back then when that was happening, like even before the war, during the war, like it was
right.
all
It's crazy. It was like, just because he thinks people should be free thinking doesn't mean that he's gonna go send aid to Russia.
Right. No. No.
Yeah.
Well,
So I thought it was well executed for what I was very afraid to watch.
Yeah. Well, look. Covered a lot of stuff here today, but make sure that you guys very curious what you think about Jordan Peele's next movie. Are you on board with it? Do you want to see it? Are you excited? Do you like him as a filmmaker? And Nolan, same thing. What's your favorite Nolan movie? Throw that in the comment section. One last bone to pick with you, which really isn't a bone, but it is.
Okay.
Your pictures on Instagram when it comes to your Christmas dinners.
Yes.
I hate that I've never been invited, and I understand why. Every time I see you with a picture of that sushi,
The sushi.
I wish that I could walk through pictures.
Right.
And just wait until everyone's back was
Yes.
turned, grab it, run
It's the
back
best
in.
holiday ever for my family. You should come. You guys are invited.
No one needs to be invited in my family. I'll come myself. Because what you understand is that, like, I don't love turkey.
Okay.
So Christmas this year, we don't normally do turkey. We usually do turkey on
A roast.
We do. The only time I really smoked turkey I like, but we did. We usually do. My wife makes a brisket on Christmas.
Oh, okay,
It's
that's nice.
fantastic.
That's
And
great.
On Christmas Eve is my favorite. It's baked ziti and baked chicken.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, but she couldn't do it this year because she had acid reflux, and so she couldn't eat it. So I was like, I don't want to. Yeah, thanks for making everything. What are you eating?
Oh my
salad without
gosh.
dressing. So we had to do. We had we had the food was good. We had a shepherd's pie. We had something else. It was just delicious. My wife's a phenomenal cook, but I was bummed because I was looking forward to that.
An
ziti.
Italian Christmas.
And then I see this picture of this sushi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
And I'm like, no, don't be sorry, because I just stared at it for like.
Yeah. It's the best sushi.
In the way that Brett scrolls up and finds, like, we call his, Roxy checked his thing. He's like, we look at his Instagram, then he looks at filth. And in the way that he looks at filth, I was looking at the sushi.
Food.
Yeah.
That's your algorithm.
Who makes the sushi?
It's my favorite. Sometimes I will make it,
Yeah.
but when I make it for this many people, I go to my favorite sushi place in San Diego.
Which is?
It's called Miyazaki's.
I think I've heard Miyazaki's. It's on. Where is it in the?
It's in Del Mar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's so good.
it looks.
Yeah, it is really amazing.
I'm coming over next.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
You're invited.
All right. No, I invited myself. All right. Thank you guys for joining us here today. Steph, where can I find you?
At Steph Sabron, the World Girls. Dorina has left us, but today's our Wednesday's our first episode with just me and Roxy.
Are you recruiting a new World Girl, or is it just gonna be the two of you guys?
Well, the body's still warm,
Right.
so we're not yet. So it'll just be us.
Oh, for
the
now.
Stexy channel.
So it's not out of the question. So JT still has a shot. Who is a
GT
wig.
has a shot. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye.